using 2017 technology to bring this computer back to the 1990s. All that and more, this time on Hak5.
Hello and welcome to Hak5. My name is Darren Kitchen.
Hello everybody, my name is Shannon Morse.
It's your weekly dose of Technolust.
Welcome to this episode.
I love doing this show with you.
I'm
also digging the curly purple hair.
Oh,
so
thanks.
Good.
This is called I'm Lazy. I woke up at 4 a.m. I flew from Portland this morning and I saw the eclipse yesterday. So I washed all the dust out of my hair because we were on like private farmland watching the eclipse
really?
at the top of a hill, which was really scary to get up to in a two-wheel drive car. But we made it. Woo! Yeah. Oh lordy, that was a lot of fun.
What was that like?
It was great.
Was it like a religious experience?
No, dude.
I don't know.
But the eclipse was absolutely amazing. It was kind of emotional just because like you could feel the energy coming off of everybody. Like everybody was just screaming and hollering and like, yeah, totality.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was fun.
I'm just glad it came back because I don't know about you guys. I'm a little partial to it. You know, I mean, I've got solar panels on the roof of my van, and they like the sun.
You know, they actually tested that in California, and they found that it had no negative effects on the electricity of the state or anything like that, like because there's so many solar plants here. So it was a big test to see if it would negatively affect solar panels and stuff, and it didn't.
Maybe it's just a big conspiracy, and solar panels just produce energy on their own inherently, and that they don't even need the sun, and they're just programmed to turn off at night.
There you go.
See? See, there's probably a podcast for that. Sorry.
So anyway, today I'm going to write a script.
You are.
I'm going to turn this machine into one that would play Myst from 1990, what was that, 95? I don't remember.
Yeah, you're going to be rocking
so
like Wolfenstein 3D a la 1991.
Oregon Trail.
93?
I'm ready.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay, here's how we're going to do it.
What was the other game that I really like to play? Hold on. I'm thinking, oh, crap, I don't remember. It's okay, it'll come back to me. I played it when I was a kid.
Cool. Okay, well, while you think about your favorite 90s video games and you comment below about your favorite 90s video games.
Goosebumps! Escape from Horrorland.
Like the little books that you would get, the books? Oh man,
that game was scary.
Nancy Drew and all the rest.
You played Escape from Horrorland.
We are taking a Bash Bunny and weaponizing it with the best prank ever. And you're going to love this one.
I love it.
Except I'm not doing it. I'm just going to hand you my Bash Bunny.
Thanks, bye.
Okay, so if you watched, hey, come back, you got to do the show. Oh. If you watched last week's episode, you know that the first part of writing a payload is...
putting it into Switch. Which one was it?
Shannon.
This one.
Other one.
This one.
Closest to the USB plug. There you go. That's arming mode.
So you put it in arming mode, you stick it in your machine.
Yep.
And then it pulls up like a flash drive would. Okay, so I opened up my file directory, and if I scroll down here, I see the Bash Bunny right here. And this Bash Bunny has already been upgraded, so we have a bunch of payloads in there, etc., etc. Okay, so.
Cool, but we're gonna write our own.
Yes.
And to get you started off, I've left a blank payload over in switch position 1. It's a good switch position. So head over to there.
All right, so here is switch position 1.
And I've already left the PowerShell in there for you, but we're gonna have to fill out the rest. So basically, I know, right?
You're giving me homework?
Yep,
okay.
So what we're gonna do is fill out this here little payload.txt file that you can open up with Notepad, Notepad++, Nano, Vi, whatever you like, Vim. And in this case, you'll notice that it's already starting out with a shebang, a pound
I'm commenting.
Exclamation point /bin/bash. And perfect. I'm glad that you're commenting because actually that's, you know what?
There was one thing that I learned from my time, like 1 year in college doing like JavaScript coding of all things, is you need to comment out your code.
You do. You do. And actually,
so people know what you're doing.
Funnily enough, I was going to say that's the most important first thing to do.
It is so important.
And in this case, what we would typically be doing is saying, hey, this is the name of the payload. Here's the,
oh yeah, I guess I should put that in there.
Here's
that's
what
important.
it does. Here's what you can expect. It helps. This is a really short and sweet and simple one, so you could probably figure it out just by reading it, but let's make it easy for everyone. So what did you come up with?
Prank your friends.
Awesome. Love it. Okay, cool. So
no, we're going to call it the 1990's regeneration.
Cool. Okay, so then the next thing that we need to do, most payloads follow a very simple structure. You have your setup phase, you have your attack phase, which can be multiple stages.
Parts, right.
Yep. And then you have maybe a cleanup phase and then a finished.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's really important that you're able to look at any payload and say like, okay, based on the color of the LED and the pattern of the blinks and such, you're able to say like, oh, I have a good idea of what this payload is doing.
Right.
Because it's running
And we can do
headless.
that with the LEDs on the Bash Bunny.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's an LED command, and you can make any arbitrary pattern and color you wish, but there's a standardized set of states that you can use, and we highly encourage everybody to use these. They're in the documentation and on the wiki, and I'll go more into the LED command in another episode. But what we'll start out here is one of the basic ones, which is LED setup. So start with that. So that's going to be a magenta, a solid magenta that we're going to say, oh, okay, cool, I know that it's getting its attack ready to go.
Right.
And in between this and our actual attack, we need to get a few things ready.
Okay.
First thing is we need to know in what position is the switch. And the Linux box can actually query its GPIO. You don't need to know about all
Windows
the
can't do
backend
that?
stuff. Nah. So it will run this piece of bash that'll actually find out where is its switch and put that in a variable so that we can use it later.
Okay.
So for that, it's get. So there's this command called get. So it's all caps get.
Okay.
And what you do is you specify what you would like to get. And in this case, you can ask for switch underscore position, all caps.
All right.
So what that's actually doing is it's creating a new variable called $switch underscore position. And in that variable,
it's calling the variable. Got it.
yeah, well, it creates that variable with whatever the result is. In this case, it's going to be 1.
Yeah.
And we're going to be able to use that later in our script to actually say like, hey, grab some resources from that switch position, from that folder on your Bash Bunny.
That's easy enough.
Next one, and this is a really common one. This is kind of like one of the most important ones, is attack mode.
Oh, attack mode.
Yes. So all caps. Cruise control for cool, and it's all one word as well.
Ah, one word. Good to know.
So attack mode is basically going to specify what kind of device or combination of devices you want to emulate, right? So there's a number of these, and the list will continue to grow as we build out the tool.
Okay.
But from the get-go, we've got attack mode storage, and that would just show up as a flash drive.
Oh, I see.
You could do attack mode RO underscore storage, and you get a flash drive that's read-only. So you can't actually write anything back to the disk. That's kind of cool.
That's cool.
You've got RNDIS Ethernet and CDC Ethernet, and those are just two.
Those look like Ethernet adapters, right?
Exactly, and they look like the Ethernet adapters that have drivers already built into modern operating systems, be it a Windows, Mac, or Linux.
So it just automatically recognizes it.
Yeah, and there's cool stuff that we do with those to make them like really high speed and do a bunch of trickery.
That's fun.
We're not going to get into the Ethernet attacks in this one. We're just going to focus on some of the easier ones. Serial is another one. You can do an attack mode where it will show up as a serial interface where you can actually drop to the shell.
Cool.
Kind of cool. And you can do HID, very much like the USB rubber ducky.
Just like the ducky. Okay.
In fact, it'll accept ducky script. So we're going to use a little bit of ducky script in this episode.
Cool.
And what we're going to do is use a combination of both storage, so it shows up as a thumb drive, and HID, so it shows up as a keyboard.
Do you do that so that the computer doesn't recognize it as something else, it just sees it as storage? Or do you do that so that you can store stuff on the Bunny as well?
Oh, you know what, that's a really good point. The reason that I'm using it as storage and keyboard is because I don't want to have to type in my entire payload.
Yeah.
It's actually really long. There's a little bit of PowerShell that we're going to use in our payload, but it's going to reference a much bigger PowerShell file. In fact, if you take a look at that file that's in that folder there, in that switch position one, that was a great question. So right-click on that R file right there and, I don't know, go to open it. Open it with Notepad++. Okay, that right there, if you scroll through it, is a bunch of PowerShell, and it's what we're ultimately going to be doing is running this. Now here's the thing. To be able to type all of that in keystroke injection mode.
That would take forever, and I would probably screw up several of those lines.
So you know what we're doing? We're actually making it a staged payload.
Nice. So what it's going to do is it'll run as a HID, so it'll type in everything for us, but it's also using the storage on the Bash Bunny to call back to that PowerShell that you already wrote.
Yep.
Cool.
So that PowerShell is the second stage, and what we're going to be writing is the first stage that launches it. And so while this is actually a prank payload, the technique can be applied to running any second stage that happens to be PowerShell.
Right.
So think about it that way. You can just swap out this r.py .ps1 or whatever that file was with anything.
Okay.
And there you go. Now it's not a prank. It's something that installs Windows updates or configures an air-gapped machine to some security policy.
Right.
Because you can't push it over the network. It's air-gapped. Yeah.
So I'm taking a educated guess here, and I'm going to type in attack mode HID storage. Is that right?
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You just keep specifying them. HID, storage, whatever you want. But we're just going to do ponies. Really that's a new attack mode. We'll ask.
We'll make it work.
We'll make that one work. Yeah, for sure. The next thing that we're going to want to do is we've finished our setup.
Yeah.
Not a very complex payload. Some payloads need to spin up servers and services and create directories and enumerate things.
Yeah.
So they'll be in the setup phase for a lot longer. This one's setup phase is going to be like
pretty
a
quick.
half a second.
Okay.
So now to indicate to the user that the setup is done and now we're ready to attack.
New LED color?
There you go.
Sweet, okay.
So in this case,
LED attack?
we're going to do LED attack.
All right, cool.
Okay, so let's just proof of concept this, make sure this works by doing a hello world.
Okay.
Right, so that's all we're going to do is we want to type in hello world into the Windows run line.
You want to use Quack?
Yeah, so let's talk about that. Why don't you go ahead and hold down, I'm going to switch to your computer, hold down the Windows key and hit R.
Windows key R.
Great, awesome.
Look at that.
There you go, pulls up the run line. It's a great keyboard combo.
Yeah.
So we're going to ask our Bash Bunny to hit those keyboard combos using Ducky script.
Ah.
And you can pass any Ducky script with the Quack command.
Nice,
Because
okay,
it's
cool.
gotta be cute.
Right, of course.
So Quack.
Quack.
And if you're familiar with Ducky script, it's basically just the keys that you want it to do. So if you typed Quack space enter,
It would
hit
hit enter.
There you go.
Yeah.
If you wanted it to hold down the Windows key, which is called GUI, G-U-I, for graphical user interface, and while holding down GUI, press the R key on the keyboard, it would be GUI space R. There you go. It can be a capital R, it can be lowercase r, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Great. So then the next line would be Quack. And we're actually going to do a delay here. We're going to make it wait for, I don't know, 100 milliseconds. So 100.
So that's 100, yeah.
And that's just because there's actually, like when you go to pull up the run line, it's like,
it takes a moment.
It takes a moment.
Yeah,
so
and you don't want it to start typing into the run if the run program is not there yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're taking a moment to deal with that interaction time or whatever you want to call it.
Yep. So I mean, computer speaking to another computer, they don't really see those pauses the way that we do. So yeah, you kind of have to change your mindset a little bit there.
Okay.
But
So we
once
got
we've
GUI
delayed,
R delay 100, and then we can start typing. So this would be another Quack line.
Yep. And we use the command string to type.
Yes.
And then whatever you want. So.
Let's see. I really like cats, so I'll do a call out to my cat.
I was about to say Luna, her other cat Luna might have a problem with this.
Yeah, she might get jealous. Okay.
Okay,
So
cool.
after we did that,
let's call it a day. Let's say, oh, you know what? Let's now let
should
the
we
user.
do a finish command?
That's a great idea. Let's let the user know that we have finished the attack and it's safe to unplug the drive.
Okay. So LED finish.
That's it.
All right.
LED finish. Cool.
Are we done?
We're done. You just wrote your first payload.
So I can just Control S this.
Yeah. Save it. Eject it.
All right. That should be saved. Thank you, computer. And I think we should hack your machine.
All right. I mean, I guess it's only fair because I did your machine last week.
Yep,
so what do we do?
exactly.
Switch this.
Payload 1.
Payload
Switch
position 1. Okay. And then I'm just going to go ahead and plug that here into my computer. Boop. And yes, I do have a black wallpaper because
Because you're a hacker.
Wallpaper, yeah. It's like it's not just the t-shirts, folks. All right, so taking a look at the LED color, I can see that it is now.
It's
oh,
yellow.
there it goes, and it just typed in, and it went green.
Cool.
So it's green
So it
to let me
worked.
know that it's done, and it typed in Starbucks is the best cat. Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay, cool. Let's make it better.
Okay.
Because really the payload writing process is a matter of lather, rinse, repeat.
Yes.
Typically what you do is after you've already targeted, figured out, like you do your recon, you figure out what kind of machines they're running, then you find a similar machine, whether it's virtual or real, and you go ahead and pull off your attack with your own hands, right? With whatever you need to get that done, making notes of what you're doing, kind of like, creating a recipe here. Then you adapt it into a Bash Bunny payload, and you just kind of like run back through what you did to get your job done, and then you test it on that machine, and you make sure it works, And then once you've got it working, you can then optimize it and then obfuscate it to make it even sneakier, and then you can go and deploy it. So we're at the phase where, hey, we know it works, this payload that talks about Shannon's cat. Let's optimize it. Right?
Yeah, let's do that. So I totally forgot to switch it from the payload back into.
You owned yourself?
Yeah. I was like, oh, duh. Okay, so I got the Bash Bunny back up. So I'll go into my payloads, and it was switch 1 that we are running.
Cool.
Alrighty, so we know this works.
So one of the things that I notice in a lot of payloads that we do over and over is this this attack right here, LED attack, right after LED attack, pulling up the GUI, the run dialog, and typing stuff in. That's a common thing that we do a lot.
Yeah.
And so there's 2 ways to shorten this. The first way is just using an alias, which is super simple.
Yeah.
Go ahead and replace quack with the letter Q.
Okay. Well, that's easy.
Right, so that saves a few characters. You can see where that's going. Anytime that you type quack, you could also have just typed Q.
Okay.
Great, we love Q. Q is wonderful. But we can also make this a little easier by just replacing that whole Q GUIR, Q delay 100, and Q string with run.
Oh.
And so the run is an extension, and I'm going to get more into extensions later, but essentially run, you can tell it an operating system, and then you can give it anything you want it to run. And that'll be for, if it's Windows, Mac, Linux, you can say, hey, depending on your operating system, we want you to run this, and it'll do that most effectively for that operating system. So you really don't have to like think about the mechanics of it, like, oh, I have to pull up the run line, and then I have to wait 100 milliseconds, and then I have to inject some stuff.
So does run have a millisecond delay already worked into it?
All of those things already built in.
Nice.
And it also takes advantage of the fact that we can specify different operating systems. So there can be intelligence built into these things that could say down the line, query the computer, do OS fingerprinting like we did last week, remember with Nmap, and it could figure out if your machine is a Windows or a Linux box.
Yeah.
So you can see where that's going. It's a lot more intelligent than just giving it some ducky script.
Okay.
But go ahead.
So what I can do is just erase these and leave run Starbucks is the best cat maybe.
Except you need to tell run what operating system. So we're targeting Windows, so it's Win, and because it's Bash, you need to put all of that after Win in quotation marks.
Oh, right. Because if I didn't, it would try to run each thing like run when Starbuck, run when is.
Yeah, is isn't a command.
Yeah, it's just like working in the Linux terminal.
In fact, go and check out Shannon's series on Hak5 on those things because you're covering a lot of the same stuff.
That's true. Variables, yay!
All right, so
literal characters and meta characters, whee!
All right, I know that we're running a little long here. You guys should be getting the gist of it by now. So basically, let's now make it run the stager.
Okay.
Right. So, or this is the stager. Let's make it run the stage.
Okay.
And for that, there's also there's already a little bit of PowerShell on a file on your desktop that you can use. Windows
so that
key
would be
D.
This guy right here. So I'm just going to copy this over and stick it in my payload.
And instead of run when Starbucks is the best cat, maybe, you can just get rid of all of that and run instead this PowerShell.
There we go.
Okay. Now what that PowerShell is going to do is it's gonna pass to Windows, hey, PowerShell, and actually remember it has to be in quotes, so get that first quote there, and that last quote's already there for you.
Yep.
It's going to say, hey, PowerShell, use GMI to query win32_volume, looking for, with the TechF, anything that's got the label Bash Bunny.
So it's finding the drive letter.
Yeah, all of that is just to find out D:\\. 1,
2, 3. Okay.
And then it's going to append, so that plus right there, it's going to append to the D:\\, the payloads directory, \, and we have to escape this variable, so that's why there's 2 backslashes, the $sign there, for switch_position, which brings us back to that.
Get switch position.
Get switch position.
Cool.
It gave us $switch_position. Now we
Awesome.
can use it in our payload.
Okay.
And then and at the end of that, we just do \r.ps1.
And that's
the file.
PowerShell. Yeah.
That's that file that's sitting there in D:\\, payloads \, switch1 / r.ps1.
Cool.
There you go.
And then we just close it out with more double quotes.
Actually, we're going to do one more thing to make it more awesome.
Okay.
Yep. And that is right after where it says PowerShell on your run when. Yep. We're going to give it one more parameter.
Okay.
TAC exec with a capital E space bypass with a capital B. That's it.
Like that?
Yep, save it.
Alrighty. Okay, that's saved.
All right, so in this case, save it, eject it, and let's go ahead and deploy it. And I want you to do it against your machine, because I mean, you're not going to notice as much on my machine with my black wallpaper and such.
I guess I will.
And also, Shannon's got cool wallpapers always.
Yeah, I have a very cool wallpaper, thank you very much.
All right, so that's safely ejected.
Okay, so we put it into payload position 1, switch 1, and I guess I'll attack my computer.
You know, I actually don't know how this HDMI and our studio is going to react to your Windows resolution changing.
That's a good point.
In the middle of recording, so maybe we just, I don't know, as long as you can see it.
And I'm going to use this USB over here because...
Actually, here, let's pull up a window as well.
Okay.
Just so that like, you get the full effect.
Okay.
I'm going to make this window, because you're running at 1080p right now. There we go. Yeah.
Well, actually, it's 2560 by 1440, but I have everything like displayed bigger because I have old people eyes and I can't see things. So I'm going to plug it into this port over here.
What happens with the 4K displays?
Okay, am I new?
It's USB. You get it on the third try.
Seriously.
Always.
There it goes.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you have to wake up at 4 a.m. for a flight. You're not quite here. All right, so magenta.
This is a great one to use on your coworkers, by the way. It's even better than the wallpaper prank, I feel like.
I kind of can't wait to use this on Keith.
Oh.
Mr. Snubs Hubs.
And boom.
Oh!
Dude, even at home. Hang on, pick that up.
Wow.
Look at this. Look at this.
That's amazing. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's...
Oh man.
Can you believe?
That's so funny.
We played
Look at
video
the
games
bezel.
in that resolution.
Look at the gigantic bezel on the side now.
That's amazing.
That's so funny. What resolution is this?
That's 640 by 480, and I needed a Visa card to be able to play Duke Nukem 3D in that.
Yeah, that's bad. That's like, whew.
This, by the way, this PowerShell script will go all the way down to like I think 320 by 200.
Wow.
Oh yeah, your mouse cursor ends up being like half the screen. It's amazing.
The original Myst game. Ooh, I'm pretty sure it ran in that resolution or something very close to it. Oh man, I'm so glad they revised that game. It's way better now.
Hey, let's tangent on a game review. Let's tangent on the fact that
from the 1990s.
Oh, nice.
If you didn't read the books, by the way, you're missing out. They were really good.
Cool. Hey, I will next week be back from Burning Man because I'm there right now.
Yay!
I'm time traveling right now, which is part of Burning Man. I think.
And I'll be heading to Disneyland in like 2 weeks for my friend's birthday.
Really? Oh,
yeah,
nice.
so excited.
Oh, in 2 weeks we should maybe coordinate because I want to get down to Disneyland. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for supporting the awesome Hak5 stuff and making all of this possible and happen. And encourage you guys, if you want to get into the Bash Bunny stuff, bashbunny.com. Check out last week's episode if you're new to this. And find all the awesome Hak5 gear at hakshop.com.
And also, we have tons of super, super fun stuff happening at Hak5 along with all of our other shows. So if you're really interested in checking out all the different things that we do, you can go over to hak5.org, and that is where you can find all of our social networks so you can see all the interesting things that we are up to and events that we're going to in conventions. By the way, if you want to see my eclipse pictures, because I did a little DIY filter, which was super fun. I talked about it on Tech Thing. You can check those out on my Instagram, which is instagram.com/snubs. And I had so much fun doing complete manual focus for everything. Me and my friend Russell were like bantering back and forth during the eclipse, and I was like, dude, what's your settings on? And then he'd be like, hey, what are your settings right now? So we would just change it throughout the eclipse. It was so
nerds.
cool.
Nerds.
Photography nerds, man.
Love it.
Great time.
Cool. All right, well, with all of that,
I think that's it.
That pretty much wraps it up until next week.
Wait, we have...
Shannon, we're running so long on this app.
But we have a gift from a fan.
Okay, well...
We'll just do one.
It's a kitty.
It's a kitty. It's a cute kitty. So this is from Katie, and she says, hi all, hope things have been going well over at Hak5 headquarters. I recently got a bunch of new stickers, so I figured I would share. Hope they help you remember to take care of your computers before the Y2K bug hits. So, and then she said, we'll see you all at DEF CON. And she sent us all these babies. So we have more. I thought we just had one of them, but we have a ton. And they say, remember,
turn your computer off before midnight on 12/31/99.
So great.
Oh my God.
So I think we should like hand those out to the
This
rest
is
of
amazing.
our coworkers because they're so cute.
This
Thank you
is
so much,
amazing.
Katie. And if anybody wants to send over stickers for the set, you can do that over at hak5.org/address. And I'm gonna go take a nap.
That is, you know, how appropriate as well
I
on
know,
the
right?
90s mode episode.
So perfect. That's why I wanted
Yes.
to call it out.
Yes.
So shout out, Katie. Thank you.
All right. We'll see you guys in 2038 for the next eclipse of Unix Epoch Time. I'm Darren
Cheers,
Kitchen.
everybody. I'm Shannon Morris. Trust your technolust.
Hey, were we supposed to do that in unison?
Got a great idea? Bring it to the web the way Darren and I do and head over to domain.com. They got a slick domain discovery system and an easy checkout process so your site will be up and online in no time. And everybody over at domain.com have been supporting Hak5 for years and they want to celebrate with this awesome promo code. It is HAK5 at checkout and you get an extra 20% off. That's right, 20% off. And while you are at it, make sure to send them a tweet. They're at domain.com on Twitter and just tell them thank you for supporting Hak5 for several years. We really appreciate it and we hope you do too. Remember, when you think domain names, think domain.com.
I know, right?
I'm so tired. Sleepy kitty, happy kitty, little ball of fur. Purr, purr, purr.